Jones Show.
I had a story here about what a $100,000 salary gets you in different places, and the whole thing is a $100,000 salary. The headline may sound like a comfortable income, but it depends where you live. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a second. I do want to hit you with some more of these. Can you name the voice actors? Amy, Oscar and Shark Tale. Okay, I'm going to play the clip here. Name the voice actor.
What number is that one?
It looks like 4.
Got it.
Here you go.
So, Lola. My name is Oscar, sweetie. Sights. Hey.
Got it?
Was that Will Smith?
It is. Good job.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, next up.
We cannot let that bully steal our hopes and dreams. Look, I know this might sound crazy. If we got the theater back, we're gonna put this show on whether Crystal likes it or not. But first, we're gonna jump out that window.
Do you know what movie that is? Because it's easy to hear
Sing?
Matthew McConaughey. I feel like it's easy to hear Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sing?
it's Sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's Matthew McConaughey, yeah.
Yeah, it's Buster Moon and Sing. Maybe it's, can you name the character?
Ooh,
Oh,
Buster
no.
Moon
So-
would
I
have
would
been
have
hard.
never...
Yeah, I think it's harder that way. So this is Amy Poehler. Can you name the movie, the cartoon this is? Go ahead.
All right, everyone, fresh start. We are going to have a good day, which will turn into a good week, which will turn into a good year, which turns into a good life. Tell you what, let's make a list of all the things Riley should be happy about.
Don't you worry. I'm going to make sure that tomorrow is another great day.
Is that Inside Out?
It is. Do you know the character by any chance?
No.
Joy?
Joy. Nice. All right, next up, this is Jim Carrey. He's the voice actor. Name the cartoon.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's a responsibility I do not take lightly. I promise you a future that is safe, sound, and stable. We will create a world where every Who is endowed with 3 inalienable rights to be determined at a later date.
Whoville?
No, you heard the context clue,
Yeah.
but that's just not what it's called.
What's it called?
Guys?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas?
No, totally different.
Is that it?
No idea.
No. It's Horton Hears a Who.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said all the Who's.
Yeah.
That's Horton, and Horton Hears a Who.
Okay.
This is James Earl Jones.
Look, Simba. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here, and will...
Don't miss this. You kicked off the show.
Lion King.
Yeah. Character?
Mufasa?
Mm-hmm. 2 more. This is Brad Pitt.
Using my super speed, I decided to go clear my head. Then I realized we had done this same silly charade our entire lives. I tried to get my mind off how I was feeling, but I just felt stuck.
I have no idea.
That's tough.
Can you name the movie? Lunchbox, you know the movie?
No idea.
Up?
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Is he an Up? Brad Pitt?
No, I was
No?
just guessing.
That is Metro Man and Megamind.
Oof.
Hmm.
We've never
what?
gotten that.
What's Megamind?
Is that a new movie that just came out?
It's got a movie, Mike.
No, 2010.
It's a. You don't like them called cartoons, do you?
They're animated movies.
Animated movies, yeah.
There must be a mega something that's in theaters right now. Mega
No idea. All right, next up, Danny DeVito.
Minecraft. Megacraft?
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Okay, it starts with an M.
Okay, no, you don't get credit for that.
Oh, boy.
All right, Danny DeVito.
Zeus, the big guy, he's your daddy. Mr. Lightning Bolts, read me a book, would you, Dada? Zeus, once upon a time.
I don't know.
Is that Zootopia?
Zeus.
The Incredibles?
They said you said Zeus, right?
Yeah.
So Hercules
Oh.
would have been the context clue, and he plays Phil in Hercules. So that was a game where Lunchbox lost.
I should have done that game.
You wouldn't have
No,
got
you did. You did. The
No,
game.
I didn't do the game. I didn't do the voice actor
Did you
game.
do the first part of it?
I did a couple
You
of
did
them
about
as
4
examples.
of them. And he
Oh,
was
it was
like,
only
you were
examples.
teasing
Oh
him with
my
it.
gosh,
it.
those voices were a lot easier than I thought.
You kept shaking your head on almost every one of them.
Like,
I think
oh, I
he was
know
shaking
that
his
one.
head
Like, I was
like-
writing them down. Like, oh, I know that one. Like, oh my gosh, I should have got that.
So
oh,
you wrote down all the answers?
the first 2, and then you changed by telling us the name.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my
Dang,
gosh,
you almost got it. It said you're wearing a syphilis hat and truck nuts.
Yeah.
Should it be flipped around?
Yeah.
Flip
What the nuts?
Yeah, because I don't see the veins.
Well, it's more of
There it
yeah.
is.
There it
There it
is.
is. Yeah, yeah, that was the back.
Yeah, I need to see the veins.
Dude, I can't help it. It flips and flops.
Then your necklace is on the wrong way, right? Would that be what it
I
is?
don't know, man.
No,
I
it should
don't
be
know.
fine.
I'm just here. I'm just here, you know.
You look good.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Now
That's
that
not what I
is, who
said.
said that?
Marshawn Lynch.
Good job.
Good job, Amy.
Nice job on that one. $100,000 salary, and this is from the story here. May seem substantial. How far it stretches varies greatly depending on location due to differences in A, taxes, B, cost of living. After federal, state, and local taxes, plus basic living expenses, some cities offer far more purchasing power than others. Worst value. What do you think? What city, if you make $100,000 a year, do you absolutely have the worst? Doesn't go as far as the other cities.
Manhattan.
That's exactly it. New York City.
Oh.
$100,000 only has about $30,000 in spending power, largely due to high taxes and cost of living 130% above average. The two closest, so New York City was 1, terrible. Honolulu 2, because everything costs so much money to get out there. And then also it's expensive just to live in Hawaii, the property. And then number 3 is San Francisco. Best value. Now, these are actual cities we've heard of, not just small towns that are like, because sometimes they'll do that. Like, best places to live, Cajun Lock, Wisconsin. I'm like, I never heard of Cajun Lock. So it's a real life city. I will say the first city has a professional basketball team. Best places for $100,000 a year.
Memphis.
Oh,
No.
no.
What do you think? Professional basketball team, the Grizzlies.
They definitely have one.
Okay. Thunder. Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City's at number 1.
Okay.
In places like Oklahoma City at 1, El Paso at 2. Oklahoma City spending power 89,000 out of 100,000, and El Paso 89,000, just slightly less, because low costs and no state income tax in Texas. Like a lot of ball players want to play in Texas or Florida because of that. But what's weird about pro athletes, if they go play in a different state, they pay taxes in that state they played. They don't pay it on where they get their check.
Oh.
When I tour, I have to pay taxes in every state I toured in
Oh. Really?
because I'm getting paid by that in that state.
Okay.
Gaining ground, Charlotte, North Carolina, Plano, Texas, and Colorado Springs, Colorado. Losing ground, Queens, New York. Well, yeah, it's just Queens is basically a suburb. But that's from Cairo 7. But that would make, like, if it's wide open, it's like, where do we live? We get to go live anywhere. But and you have a job, then you probably want to go to a place where your money
Has more
allows
spending power.
you to do more.
Right.
You know? So I saw it come out this morning. They're doing this big gala for Brooks and Dunn at the ACMs. So I will be a part of the ACM television show on that Thursday night on Amazon. I don't really know my role yet, but I'm going to go up a day early because Brooks and Dunn are having this big gala, and I'm hosting it, and Eric Church, Cody Johnson, Megan Maroney, Keith Urban, and Lainey Wilson are all playing it. And they're all going to play Brooks and Dunn songs.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. The ACM just announced they'll be honoring Brooks and Dunn during the Play Something Country Gala the night before the ACMs take place. The celebration of Brooks and Dunn goes down May 7th at the Star in Frisco, Texas, hosted by Bobby Bones. I think I'm going to wear Ronnie's clothes there, Ronnie Dunn's clothes that night, instead of at the award show. I didn't know I was going to have to do 2 things. And I probably wouldn't have hosted it if it weren't Brooks and Dunn, because I know them, and they're like, will you do it? I was like, yeah, sure. And really, I was like, man, if it were somebody else, I don't think I would have done it. But it'd be cool. It'd be super cool. They're up for Duo of the Year as well at the ACM Awards. They've won Duo of the Year 16 times. So
16 times.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
They get you? They get you?
Yeah.
Yeah. A woman flying to New York from D.C. posted a video after a drunk passenger vomited all over her.
Oh my gosh. Terrible. That's disgusting.
Yeah, that sucks, huh? Because I bet you they don't have like a kindergarten teacher an extra set of clothes.
Probably not.
Because those kindergarten, first grade teachers got to have extra sets of clothes in case someone poops their pants.
Right.
But they don't have that on airplanes. Because what are you going to do? You just sit there in it. What was supposed to be the short flight turned into a nightmare for Noella Voigt, who says she was projectile vomited on by a passenger seated behind her.
Oh.
I would have expected it was the person next to her going,
Yeah.
ugh, but it was the person behind her. Oh.
Oh, so it's probably like in her
The
hair.
guy. Why would the guy vomit forward and up instead of down at his feet though?
But just projectile is.
Still though, if I know it's coming, my head's looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to go up with some spunk. Like, ugh.
Yeah, or like I'm gonna gather my shirt and just like try to vomit in my own shirt.
Voight claims flight attendants offered only cocktail napkins to clean up the mess.
Ah.
You'd think they got some towels in there, though, or some sort of sanitation wipe. She was also unable to change clothing because Delta had gate checked her carry-on, so she had nothing in her bag. After landing, she had to buy new clothes at JFK and carry her vomit-covered coat in a trash bag. She contacted customer service and was offered 3,000 Sky Miles.
Oh, no.
The airline later bumped the offer to 20,000 miles, calling the situation a biohazard and not a minor inconvenience. While she doesn't blame the sick passenger, whom she suspects was intoxicated, see, I think there's a difference, too. I think you can get a little more upset if they were drunk, especially if the airline was continuing to provide them alcohol, than if they were sick and, like, had a bug. I think that's different. My Sky Miles have gone times 5. It's now X5 if we're going to do that. But, yeah, that sucks for her. I remember sitting – did you guys ever have those – like temporary classrooms or like the trailers as they rebuilt the school?
Yeah,
portables.
So we had these trailers in college, and they were always a little warm because they didn't have central heat and air like the other rooms. And so there was like an air conditioner. You just turn it on, and it was warm. And I'm sitting like 6 rows from the front, and up a row to my left, there's this guy, and he just was jittery. And all of a sudden, whoa, threw up all over the kid in front of him, all over his back. Like in class. And that sucked. But what really was terrible was the kid that got vomited on was a foreign exchange student. And I think he was embarrassed and he wouldn't leave. He just sat there.
Oh, just took it.
He just sat there and the teacher was like, you can go. And I think he was so embarrassed and also didn't quite know what to do. So he just sat there and vomited. And by the way, it stunk. It was awful.
Oh, no.
And the class just kept going.
But the teacher can't just like say, hey, come with me. Let's go.
He was a college student. So the teacher wasn't like holding his hand, but
oh, true.
It was weird because multiple people made a bad decision there.
Yeah.
One, if you got to throw up, how do you not? Aim it down. Right? Aim it down. 2, if you get thrown up on, you should leave. Maybe he didn't understand, but the teacher should have either A, called the class off right then, or like cleaned up, help him clean. That's brutal.
That's so weird. That happened to me when I was in college too. Like same exact situation, and the teacher was like, "We're done. Everybody just out of here."
Really?
Everybody just go. And I remember the guy after he threw up, he was like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
Did he leave?
I think everyone just got up and left.
The vomiter left in my story.
Yeah.
The vomiter left,
but not the
'cause they were sick, but not the kid who got vomited on. I remember once in high school we had a teacher. Her name's Miss Johnson, and she sat on the corner of a desk. She wasn't mean, but she wasn't the most well-liked because she actually held people accountable. And she sat on the corner of her desk, and the desk flipped up in the air, and she fell hard.
Did you all laugh?
You have to.
I mean, the class laughed, right?
Yes. Everybody laughed, but not to like point. Anybody falling is just funny. and I didn't want to laugh. And I remember I'm a senior in high school. I didn't want to laugh. And it's one of those like when you're not supposed to laugh, your head's about to explode because you can't stop laughing. And so she just got up and continued teaching.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do?
I think if it were me, I'd be like, oh, that hurt. I'm going to take a few minutes and go like readjust.
Go cry a little bit.
But I think she was trying to play it off.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the kids she kicked out because they wouldn't stop laughing really loud. She was like, you think that was funny? Because they were like just, ha, 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 ha. And me, I'm like, I'm talking about for 20 minutes trying to hold it in. I remember it so vivid. And I think my eyes about to pop out of my head. Because as soon as you're told you can't laugh, there's nothing more you want to do than get a good laugh in. And then she'd say something that was kind of like funny or in her lesson. And you'd be like, ha, 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 ha. And then you'd be like, okay, I got it all out. And then you go back to it. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for her looking back.
She was okay, yeah.
She was fine. But I think now, you probably just take a minute and be like, whoa, I expect that to happen. And you walk out for 2 reasons. 1, for yourself, and 2, let the class get their laughs out.
Yeah.
It's like if a catcher gets hit in the neck with a pitch, like say hits the ground and hits a pitch. What the umpire will do, the umpire will walk out and talk to the pitcher and be like, hey, and only to give time to that catcher to like get their bearings.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it can happen where the umpire gets hit and the catcher knows it. The catcher will go out to the pitcher because you're not going to stop the game for something that's not a real injury. But
You need to give a beat.
yes, so the unspoken rules of baseball are, okay, go and like have a meeting at the mound and give everybody a second. There should have been a meeting at the mound with that teacher situation. And there wasn't. But yeah, that was a tough one, man. An expert says gossiping can be good for you.
Like that.
What? Why?
Well, this wasn't gossip. This was just like, she fell and I couldn't stop laughing. I could stop. It just hurt. Like my stomach hurt. It's like church is another time when you're not supposed to laugh.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
If something's funny and you can't laugh, that's tough.
An expert says gossiping can be good for you because it can be a helpful way to protect us from harmful situations. Okay.
What? I don't get it.
It can provide an emotional release. Okay. And be a way of showing the people around us what we don't want for ourselves.
I
Feels
don't
pretty
know.
stupid. Dr. Charles Sweet, a board-certified psychiatrist, explains gossip is rooted in human behavior. Okay, I'm all there. It can be a form of social bonding. Okay, all good. Therapist Alexander Horror notes that in some cases, such as among women, discussing dating safety and gossip acts can be a protective tool. Well, this is not the same gossip that I'm used to hearing.
Yeah, but if you're with your girlfriends and you're updating them about like a date and you're talking about it,
That's
is
not
that
gossip. No, that's
and then
you-
sometimes you may need to vent if you have a safe space where you can vent, but is that gossip?
That feels like a euphemism for like shady gossip, that second one.
Venting and gossip, I think, are different. You don't think so?
I think if you're venting about somebody at work, that's so annoying because don't you see that?
But is that gossip?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're
that
talking
is
about other
100%.
people's business that is not you.
Oh, well,
That's
yeah,
gossip.
if it's their other business. But if you're talking about someone that, if it impacted you and you're just venting, but it's about somebody
Yeah,
else.
like if you're telling a story of something that happened to you, that's not gossip.
Yeah.
That's not gossip
Right.
unless you are
That's venting.
implementing somebody else
Mm-hmm.
But if you start to, then
and talk about a
spread
situation
rumors
that's
or
not
something.
them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Gossip can also provide an emotional release.
People do
Ne-
bond over gossip, though. That's
but
for sure.
Here's the problem with
They
gossip.
do.
Is that
You have to be careful.
people that gossip tell you other people's secrets, you can't tell them your secrets because they'll gossip about you. So you can take in all of what they're giving, but they're not going to keep giving it to you unless you give some back, because gossip isn't just a one-sided thing. And if you give some back, then you have to understand that whatever you're giving back is being shared with somebody else without you knowing. Like, never tell a secret to somebody who tells other people's secrets, regardless of how much you trust them, because they obviously do not hold secrets to the same value that they should be held.
What if they say,
That's where they get you right here. They're
Don't-
going to say something. They're going to say something.
what
Yeah.
if they say, just like, okay, you can't say anything, but
Yeah.
Then they do that with you.
Yeah. If somebody tells you a secret, they're going to tell your secret to somebody else.
Probably the same way too. Like,
Yep.
don't say
Don't
anything.
say
Say
anything.
anything.
I promise I wouldn't say anything.
yeah, I'm not going to say
That's from
anything.
Newsweek, that story there.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, let's do a mid-roll here. We'll come